I'm Register Tracey Gordon. We are very excited to come talk to you about our new Probate Deferment Initiative, PDI for short. It is our sincerest hope that this new initiative can help Philadelphians untangle their title for free and stay in their homes. We have a Tangled Title crisis. More than 14,000 Philly homes are in the name of a dead person, usually a deceased parent or grandparent. If you are living in a tangled title, you cannot do legal things with the house. You can't negotiate with the bank about the mortgage. You can't qualify for the basic system repair. You can't get FEMA assistance. You can't pay the back taxes. You can't do anything with it. You're almost like a squatter. As the Register of Wills and an elected official, I have an obligation to help protect Philadelphia's generational wealth, to help families stay in their home. That's why we created the Probate Deferment Initiative. We are working with Commissioner Jim Leonard at the Recorder of Deeds Office and with local legal aid groups to get Philadelphians the help they desperately need. We are waiving and deferring fees that are associated with untangling a title. Each tangled title is different and complicated.
Yes.
That's why we are helping people get the free legal representation they need to fix their deed. A row home is for most people the largest asset they have and the biggest piece of their family's generational wealth. We need to do more to keep communities together by helping keep people in their homes. 14,000 properties are in a tangled title. 14,000 here in Philly. This is a crisis. We as a city are losing millions of dollars in dead capital while people are losing their homes, their family homes, predominantly in Black and gentrifying neighborhoods. We have to do more to help educate people about the resources available. More often than not, these homes are tangled because they are in the name of a dead relative, because they did not leave a proper will. On top of the tangled title crisis, we have a racial estate planning gap making this worse. Did you all know that 65% of white families have a will, but only 23% of Black families? And in college educated families, the numbers are no better. 75% of white college educated families have a will versus 33% of college educated Black families. We can't afford to avoid these conversations about estate planning and generational wealth. The bottom line is this: the city benefits financially by having these titles untangled. Not only does the family resolve a major issue, but this helps the city and state generate revenue. When a title is untangled, we resume collecting property taxes, and the state gets its inheritance tax. These tangled titles are not generating wealth for families, the city, or the state. It's just locked up in dead capital or as dead capital. Not only that, these tangled titles often create blight. They can become vacant, they can lower property values and the quality of life in neighborhoods across Philadelphia. If we can just get 15% of the 14,000 tangled titles resolved, we can generate an additional $4.5 million in just inheritance tax alone. With city real estate tax, we can collect almost $1.5 million from the 2,100 units per year. That's with an average property value of $50,000, which is very low, a very low average. So the money would be much, much more. Currently, we are in talks with the Pew Charitable Trust to help us identify the hardest hit areas in Philadelphia. When that information becomes available, I will be happy to share them with you. This tangled crisis has been going on for decades. It won't be fixed overnight. It can't be fixed overnight, but we can take positive steps now, here today. If the committee is curious about how to help the Probate Deferment Initiative, I have a suggestion. Council could allocate a small financial incentive to those that are helping per tangled title they resolve. It doesn't have to be a lot. Most of the lawyers helping are doing this pro bono, but every little bit helps us incentivize attorneys to help. So thank you again for inviting me and my team to talk about the Probate Deferment Initiative and how it can help people in Philadelphia untangle their title and get the legal help they need. Please follow us on social media at #PHLROW. We are on all major platforms. We have lots of content on this and other generational wealth issues. We are on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. We have a website. We have a LinkedIn, and we have every Thursday, we give a financial literacy program from 6 to 7. You can follow us on those social media websites to see the information that we're giving out for the city of Philadelphia. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. I think I need to get a TikTok. I'm like, we need to step up our game.
Yeah, we got TikTok. We could get ready to put some things on there. We all over Instagram. This message of estate planning and protecting generational wealth is long overdue, and we have some exciting programs that's coming up, and it's just wonderful what we're doing with this PDI. This is a signature program for my administration. We work very hard on this program, and we have stepped up to the plate and deferred the fees and partnered with Commissioner Leonard, who's waiving the fees. So we have done what we promised to do.
The Records Department has agreed to waive its deed recording fees for participants in the Register's program, a savings of up to almost $260 for each deed. This program has the opportunity to make a dramatic impact on the Tangled Title crisis and generational wealth of seniors and their heirs. I applaud Register Gordon for her creativity and initiative and welcome your assistance in raising awareness of these options.
I also want to acknowledge that 14,000 Tangled titles is a very high number. This is a huge issue in the city. And, you know, the racial estate planning gap that you described is also really alarming. It's something that we've heard, but to hear the numbers and the data helps put the size of this issue kind of in perspective. So, you know, thank you for your continued work on that. And we will stay connected because that's definitely problematic. I have another question about the fee deferral for unrepresented people. Do you have any sense of when the fee deferral might be available to people that's not represented by an attorney?
Mm-hmm. So right now we're running the pilot. It's very tedious and technical to untangle a title. You need attorneys to assist because the Register of Wills, we don't give out legal advice. We can't, you know, as far as, you know, how to probate the estate. So it's real paper intensive. And so we offer this for low and middle income residents of Philadelphia. And as a pilot, we are requiring that attorneys, you know, are educated in untangling the title, be matched with these families so that the process will be seamless. Some of these estates go back 20 or 30 years, so they're going to have to open up more than one estate. So you really need an attorney to invest and you know, in this assistance. That's why we had sent out a request. We partnered with VIP to see if we can get volunteer attorneys, and hopefully you all in the budget, maybe we can give them, incentivize the attorneys by giving them some sort of stipend.
My name is Sharon Wilson. I'm the solicitor for the Register of Wills. In this PDI process, often, as the Register mentioned, you have to open up multiple estates. To decide which estates to open, you need somebody that's applying the law to the situation. That's what an attorney would do. We're not allowed to provide legal advice. At any given time, the Register may have to settle a legal dispute. So she can't give out legal advice. Then after you know when to open up the estate, you have to make a determination as to who is the appropriate heirs. And you make that determination by looking at the intestate statute, another opportunity where you have to interpret law. Often you have to go in the legal department of the Register of Wills and file a petition. That's normally performed by an attorney. We do a good job with assisting lay people, but there's a difference between when a layperson files a petition and when an attorney files one. At the end of this process, if everything goes, well, there'll be a deed to be drafted. And sometimes if there's multiple heirs, the deed isn't as easy as it might be otherwise. The deed may contain fractional ownership shares. So there's multiple times at which a layperson could get confused and get frustrated. We're not trying to make it harder. We're trying to take this complicated process and make it easy. That's why we recruited the nonprofit legal organizations to assist us. So we can say, here's an attorney that will help you. And of those organizations, we've been blessed to have that collaboration. One of the organizations, Christian Legal Services, has really stepped up. And so we have some people in our pipeline. And as the Register mentioned, this is a pilot program. It started in April, but we have a lot of steps to go through. And we are continually revisiting it, but we're not there yet, Councilwoman.
Thank you for that information.
We need to really, Councilwoman, think about when titles transfer or people buy homes, they need to get information about the importance of making a will. And we need to file some legislation to say that when they transfer property in Philadelphia, they need to get a brochure to explain to them the importance of, getting that protection. I always use this example. When you get a new car, you get car insurance. When you buy a house, you get homeowners insurance, disability insurance. What insurance are you going to get that your generational wealth is going to be protected? That insurance is called a will. People are not educated. I just gave you the statistics, and I'm talking about people that are college graduates, particularly Black Americans here in Philadelphia, who stand to lose the most. And people are just simply not educated on, just the thought of making a will once they not even inherit an asset, but they inherit and earn assets. It's not a thought prior. It's not in schools. There's no financial literacy in schools. There's no financial literacy, basic financial literacy, even in colleges. Because I just gave you the stat that the college educated students aren't even aware of making wills. Within the next 25 years, Kendra, $68 trillion of wealth is going to transfer from one generation to the next. The baby boomers to the millennials. The baby boomers are not prepared because they don't have the wills. The millennials are not prepared because they don't understand the process of, what to do when someone dies. They're relying on the funeral director to tell them what to do when somebody dies without a will. Or they're relying on you. They're calling your office. I get phone calls from council people and state reps all the time simply because people don't know the next step. We all have to educate people. We have to just make this a topic because we are losing a lot of family homes because we are simply not educated.
Do any of my council colleagues have any questions for this panel?
Yes, I just had a quick comment. I wanted to thank you so much for this hearing and thank our Register Tracey Gordon and Commissioner Leonard in the Records Department for their work on the Probate Deferment Initiative. I think it's one of the most important initiatives that are happening currently in our city, particularly around tangled titles and deeds. And I wanted to go back to something someone mentioned earlier about over the past 18 years, I think a little over 2,000 of the tangled title deeds cases have been resolved. So I definitely think that's an opportunity for us in council relative to helping individuals who are burdened by tangled titles and deeds, knowing that we potentially have 14,000 other cases that have yet to be resolved. But I simply wanted to say thank you for this hearing because people don't understand how important this is, how you can lose your generational wealth and legacy within your family without proper estate planning. It almost happened to my family with our church, where someone had the mail going to another address in Ridge Avenue that my family purchased when they came from down south and settled in Philadelphia and purchased the land in the 50s and over time acquired 8 parcels, and someone had the mail going to another address and almost lost the property to sheriff's sale a few years ago, but thankfully we were able to sell it. So this is to keep it, but we were really inundated with dealing with this issue and needed to use a lot of resources to resolve it. So this is a major issue that we've been seeing across the city, and I want to offer my assistance in anything that I can do to help on Tangled Titles and deeds specifically, and just offer thanks to you and our Register, Tracey Gordon, and also Commissioner Leonard for their work.
Thank
you, Councilmember.